Welcome to episode 88 of the Nerd Rundown podcast. This week on the big show, Super Bowl edition, we get some great trailers from The Flash, Guardians of the Galaxy, and our favorite archaeologist who should probably be in a museum. Disney is going back to the well for Toy Story, Zootopia, and Frozen, and we ain't mad about it. Finally, we double up on the NRDbox questions. Meg asks if we've ever met anyone famous, and Mr. Hodgkinson wants to know, what's the greatest love story? Ready? Hit it!
Hey nerds, welcome back to the Nerd Rundown podcast, where we cover the latest in the nerd world of movies, TV, and more. I'm Darren Stemple, and with me today is my co-pilot, Eric Herr.
Hello, my fellow nerds.
You forgot your pinky on that one. we have also Morgan Santo with us. Morgan.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yes. Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's ambiance.
This will be coming out on Valentine's Day, so it's a good to watch it on a date night for a date night. At least that's what I'll be doing. Just joking. If you are watching on YouTube and you're liking what you're seeing, please smash the like button, subscribe button. If you are listening to us on audio only, you can hop on over to YouTube and still leave a comment, leave a NRDbox question. We love interacting with y'all. We had a really fun week of interacting with y'all last week. So if you just want to listen to us, that's fine too. We love that too. So before we get to a really fun show, let's hear a word about our sponsor, Combat the Chaos. Hey nerds, do you support your veterans and first responders? Well, here at the Nerd Rundown, we support our heroes, and not just the heroes that you see behind me that are drawn to wear a cape or throw a shield, but the real heroes who would lay their lives down so that we can talk about whatever kind of nerd we are. At the Nerd Rundown, our new sponsor, Combat the Chaos, is a veteran-owned clothing company. They donate portions of all their profits to veteran and first responder supporting organizations that are focused on mental health and suicide prevention. Veterans are at a 57% higher risk of suicide instead of those who have not served. This shirt is one of the items you can purchase if you follow our link to find them on Instagram at combat.the.chaos, or at their website, combatthechaos.com. And use the code NRD for 15% off. Now, back to the Nerd Rundown. Okay, fellas, happy Valentine's Day, like you said, Morg. Yes. Which means if today's Valentine's Day that you're listening to this on Valentine's Day, then 2 days ago was the Super Bowl. Pretty big, momentous American thing that we have.
We don't need to talk about it.
We don't need to talk about the actual game.
The game was good.
Eric's happy about the results. They are not. The big thing about the Super Bowl is the commercials. Do you think they had a rebound this year in commercials, or did we kind of continue a little bit of a decline in commercials, Eric?
Decline for sure. I think there were a couple chuckles that I got. The only one that I actually laughed out loud at was the Bush Light commercial that came like in the fourth quarter. It was like one of the last commercials I haven't seen, but they had one with Sarah McLachlan where she starts singing, and I thought that one was brilliant. Also, that's a wolf.
That one was a good one.
That's pretty funny.
I did laugh at that one. I did not laugh as hard as the Ben Stiller Pepsi one.
The Zoolander. Yeah.
I mean, the Zoolander was a chuckle, but the actual laugh out loud came from when he's like, "Ooh, that's so good." Or am I acting?
Yeah.
that part.
Right.
I didn't laugh as hard on the Steve Martin one, the Ben Stiller one.
Yeah.
Funny. I don't know.
Good stuff.
Or did you have a favorite commercial?
No, none of it really stood out to me.
Oh.
I didn't really remember them. Like, you mentioned that. I was like, okay, yeah, I do kind of remember those ones, but like, I don't know. I think this is like the first time that I really was like, meh, I don't really care about any of the commercials.
Yeah,
it is a little bit different when you're a fan of a team playing. You're under that stress during the game. You're probably paying attention to commercials.
I mean, I guess the trailers were great. I mean, I know we'll get into those and stuff, but those were actually the best. Surprisingly, they were the best things during the game. There really wasn't anything else that was like, oh, that was really funny. I can't wait to watch them. Although I kind of backtrack on that. I missed the commercial during it. My wife made me watch it afterwards, but the Rakuten or whatever it is that they had a Clueless commercial where they had Alicia Silverstone and then the other girl from Clueless on there. Yeah. And I gotta say, wow. Yeah. Like, wow.
I don't think they de-aged her.
She looks terrific. Absolutely terrific. Silverstone. She looks like she hasn't aged a day.
I guess
when that one came on, I was like, oh my gosh, is that Alicia Silverstone?
Yeah. I'll say my favorite commercial was the JD and Turk one. Just because it's JD and Turk.
Okay.
It was the T-Mobile, I think.
Oh yeah.
Zach Braff and
and they had what's his name on there too? John Travolta. So,
yeah. That may have been worse. You know what was an underrated one was the Adam Driver Squarespace one. Did you guys?
I did not like that commercial at all. I thought that
weirded
me out, really.
I thought that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And I loved it in the beginning when he's like, Squarespace is a website that makes websites. Yeah. It was just really, that part really got me. Well, speaking of the wonderfulness of the Super Bowl TV commercials, we got TV spots and trailers released online for some pretty big properties. I wanted to start with The Flash because I feel like we've gotten the least amount of The Flash movie.
We haven't gotten anything.
We got a Comic-Con teaser trailer. It did not give away anything. So we've barely gotten anything. So The Flash, the TV spot came on and I was blown away. I couldn't really hear it, but the imagery was on that was just incredible.
Same.
So when I got home and I got to watch it, dude, that Danny Elfman theme just slaps so hard when it comes on. It just what a terrific rush of great adrenaline and nostalgia there.
Yeah.
Eric, you've similar feelings?
Oh, for sure.
You want to get nuts?
Yeah.
Let's get nuts.
I thought it was really great. I mean, the TV spot. I'll talk more about the trailer, then I'll talk about the TV spot. The TV spot was great.
It's basically the same.
But but the trailer, man, I just thought it was so cool. You had the Ben Affleck, and then at the end of
Affleck,
but you have the narration, the voiceover of Keaton, and hearing him talk, and I know we've kind of been hard on Ezra Miller, and rightfully so. He's done a lot of janky shit outside of work, if we will. And so the criticism for that is probably rightfully in place. But man, just in the trailer alone, his character, clearly he's playing multiple versions of himself on there. And I thought it was just what I saw, just little of what I saw was terrific. Like I was really impressed with him. He's like Barry, and it just, it was cool. But I got to tell you, I got chills seeing Keaton back in the suit and hearing him say, I'm Batman, and I was like,
what a line, dude. What? They were like, we gotta throw that in the trailer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they set it up. Yeah, they set that. They teed that one up
for sure.
Lasting image from the Keaton though was it just the smile, or was it when he freaking glided down?
When he was gliding down, it was pretty badass.
Cool.
And I'm like, my mother-in-law was over this evening, and we were talking about seeing Keaton all that, and Stace goes, you know, how old do you think he is? And my mother-in-law, she's like, he's the same age as I am, 72. You know, and I was like, man, that's crazy to me.
Crazy.
72 years old in that suit.
Michael
I mean,
Keaton?
Michael Keaton.
That's crazy.
He really is 72.
That's what I think. I think we looked it up, and I think it said Michael Keaton. I'll double check. But
That would be absolutely incredible if he's 72.
Yeah,
well, he's still pretty full of energy too.
And how old is you know how old Harrison Ford is?
Yeah, he's like 81 or 82.
He's 80 years old. You know, and I'm like, dang, dude,
he's a little bit slower.
Yes. Yeah. So Keaton's 71. So he's
oh wow,
he's 71.
Wow.
But yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
That's insane to me. Morgan, what did you think of the trailer?
Yeah, it annoyed me because it makes me want to see the movie. It was neat. Now it's funny, Eric, that you said you were impressed with Ezra, like his acting. See, I feel like he's going to be the weakest part of it. Like I don't know. I feel like he took me out of it, but his acting in the trailer. But it looks like they're really doing the Flashpoint thing. I mean, instead of Superman, they're having Kara instead, Supergirl. But it looks like they're going to adapt it pretty well. I don't think they'll have Atlanteans fighting the Wonder Woman people. They'll do something else, but it looks interesting. Like I do want to see it. Yeah. But I do want to see it, and I'm pretty sure I saw Christian Bale in there.
I said the same thing to my dad tonight. We were having a conversation. I said, you've got Ben Affleck and you've got Michael Keaton. I said, I would not be surprised if you get it, and they've kept it under wraps and kept it real tight, that there's a Christian Bale. There's a Christian Bale.
I think there is, because I'm pretty sure we get a glimpse of him on the bike in that trailer. Because they show,
could very well be
one of the Batman coming at the camera on the bike.
Yeah.
If you pause and look at it, it is a much slimmer. It's not Batfleck.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It's much of a slimmer. He has that structure like the same cowl that Christian Bale has. So I'm thinking we're getting some Christian Bale. Now, whether it's a new scene and they're not just taking, old footage and, they're just going to make Flash in the scene or something, but we'll get him.
Dude, Affleck was thick. He was a thick boy.
Yeah.
Thick boy.
So
did you see the Dunkin' Donuts commercial he had?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
That one was pretty funny. I gotta say, now that I'm thinking about it, that was pretty funny.
But Michael Keaton swooping down and picking that dude up and throwing him down. That was cool.
I mean, it was
really cool.
We'll get to see what Batman 89 is like in modern day.
Yeah.
I could not think of anything cooler to say.
Yeah.
I hope the movie is as good as the trailer makes it look, because I'll be really disappointed. But James Gunn did say that he is in love with this movie.
Yeah.
He really loves this movie. So and for them,
he's gonna try and make money.
With all the trouble, with all the trouble that has come with this kid, for them to keep it, it must be good.
Special.
It's got to be. Yeah.
But I will say, if moving forward they decide to keep Ezra Miller as the Flash, as the Flash, I don't think I'll even watch any of the DC movies moving forward. If they keep him but get rid of Cavill, come on.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah,
like that would be too much for me. I'd be like, no.
Yeah, I mean,
can't watch this.
Yeah,
I gotta wait till those court cases.
I don't know
clear.
if it's an apples to apples situation, but it wouldn't look good on him. I do agree with you on that. Are you drinking syrup? It looked like you're drinking syrup.
Hey, quick question for you. How did that taste? How'd that taste that you just drank?
Delicious.
Is it really, or was that acting? Or were you acting?
Who knows?
Who knows?
That was delicious. Or is it acting?
Or was I acting? Sensing a theme coming on here. Then we got our next on the rundown. We got our the full official trailer.
Yeah.
for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I mean, we're just living in James Gunn's world right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, holy F. Eric, what did you think of the trailer?
This is, I think we've talked about it when we did the preview show. This movie here, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and the Mission Impossible are my two biggest picks for the year. And
Yeah.
that trailer has me so hyped up. I was so like when we got those two spots, like the Flash and the Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, I don't even care what happens in this game. Like at this point, like I just am like, oh, this is awesome. Like this has already been worth it for me. I had to go back and watch it afterwards, of course, because I couldn't hear it as well as I would have, as much as I would have liked and stuff. But it looks really, really terrific. I love the guy who's the villain in this. I love him. He's really, really great. So I'm really excited to see
from Peacemaker.
Yeah, from Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyhow, and I just love the Guardians. The whole dynamic between Chris Pratt and Dave Bautista. And even Jillian, was it Karen Gillian? I think is her
Karen
name.
Gillian.
Yeah.
Karen Gillian.
Yeah. Their rapport with each other is so good. It's so they're so charming. It's so great. The scene on the couch with Drax on the couch. I can't.
That was in the TV spot, not in the trailer. But
I can't believe this is
Oh my God.
doesn't have multiple purposes. I just thought that was so funny, but yeah. So I am really looking forward to this. Although I'm gonna get my heart broken on that movie.
Yep.
I know I'm already preparing myself that I'm gonna have my heart broken in that movie somehow, and
I mean, I don't see who makes it out. Like who makes it out of that?
I think Rocket is the only one that makes. I think
Rocket's dead for sure.
I think Rocket and Groot probably the only ones that make it. But
I think Rocket's dead for sure.
Yeah, I think Rocket's dead for sure.
Rocket and possibly Drax.
Yeah, well, I know Drax for sure.
Is, I mean, Dave Bautista basically said that.
I mean, he's dead. He could just go away.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it's a head fake on the Chris Pratt thing where they're carrying him, out and stuff like that. I think that's head fake happening there. But it could be like the Star Trek II Spock thing, where they kill him. The rumor, everybody's like, oh, Spock is dying in this for sure, And so the opening sequence is him dying, in a simulation. Yeah. So he's simulating and everybody dies and so it's like, oh, well, that's why he died. But then really, later on it's a little bit different. But so I don't know. We'll see. Oh
man.
We'll see what happens. But I fully expect to be crying during that movie. Yeah. So
dude, I almost cried from the trailer. It was he knows how to use music to his advantage.
Yep, he really does.
Morgan, where was your favorite part from the trailer? Because I know you liked it.
I don't know if I really have a favorite part. I guess I didn't really think of it that way. Like I just enjoyed all of it. I was like,
that is my favorite part.
Yeah, I was just happy. No, this is the next Marvel movie I'm most excited about. The next upcoming Marvel. Man, I'm a little excited about, but I'm still a little nervous. I don't know, but Guardians of the Galaxy is the one I'm mostly excied for.
I'm seeing it Thursday. Got my ticket.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I have not. Maybe I'll wait to see what you guys say.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter because we both liked and said to watch it.
Yeah,
that's true. You're both gonna like it. So we'll see. I mean, I'm probably gonna end up seeing it. Who am I kidding? It's a Marvel movie. As much as I complain, I still give them my money.
Never missed one in a theater.
Oh, I have.
I'm trying to think if I have. I had to miss something in a theater.
No,
I didn't see Wakanda.
I didn't see
Shang-Chi, Eternals.
I did not see the first Ant-Man. I didn't see the first Ant-Man in theaters. I didn't
watch the Inhuman show in theater.
I feel like I couldn't see it in theaters. I don't know. Anyway,
there'll be something else.
Yeah, it definitely shot my hype up for that movie like crazy. And I'm not I'm not looking forward to crying. That's for sure.
I'm kind of hoping I know this may sound awful, but I'm kind of hoping for Star-Lord to die so that he can hop to the DC and play something for James Gunn over in the DC universe. Like,
he does have such a good rapport with James Gunn.
Yep, they have a good relationship.
I want him to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to lose a talent like Chris Pratt, but also that might even just to open him up to more projects so we can get him in more projects.
Yeah.
Then we also got an Indiana Jones TV spot. Not a full trailer, just the TV spot. And I remember sitting there, I think it came on first quarter or so, second quarter. And I just was like, man, it is so good to hear that theme. It hits every single time. It's one of the all-time great themes. I'm very, very excited for this movie. I know you guys have your reservations. Did the TV spot did the TV spot help turn anything around for you, Morg?
So first I want to say I'm reading the notes here, and you have the Indiana Jones and the TDOD TV spot. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, Indiana Jones, and I'm like, what the hell was TDOD? Dungeons of Dragons? I'm like, I don't remember this.
It was a Dungeons of Dragons.
Could be a Dungeons of Dragons.
There was, but
it was a Dungeons. I forgot to put that in there.
Yeah.
I didn't see
it. Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny. No, this TV spot didn't help me at all. In fact, it might have made it a little worse for me, I think. I'm just 100% believing the rumor of the time travel, and he's going to die.
Oh my God.
And she's taking over and she's going to get a Disney Plus show. I 100% believe that's going to happen.
I can't wait for your episode to eat some crow.
I hope I do. Listen, everybody, I hope I do. I want this to be an awesome Indiana Jones movie, but
I love the young Mads Mikkelsen stuff. Was pretty cool to see. I just love him as a villain. He's just so good.
He is a good villain.
So good.
But
so good.
I'm just gonna struggle. I think I'm gonna struggle with this more than Morgan probably. I mean, I know he's already even more negative, but I just am like, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and even the other two, Temple of Doom and everything was practical, man. Like, they had some special effects, like with the fighters and stuff like that from, but there's not that many Focke-Wulf 190s flying around, and stuff. So, or Messerschmitts flying around. So it's not like you can just crash those whenever you want to. So I get that part, but like all the special effects and all the stunts and stuff, they're all like real stunts. They're all real things that, for the most part are believable. I watched the trailer for this and I'm like, it's so CGI'd, and it just really, I don't know. I just really struggle with it, but at the end of the day, they're going to take my money. I'm going to go see it, and and we'll see how it goes. I just watched, we did just watch Raiders of the Lost Ark with the kids, and I made the kids cover their eyes. I made Jackson cover his eyes at the end of the movie, because
look away.
You don't need to see
obviously this. You don't want them to
yeah, I don't want to have to pay for therapy for that, at least. So
there's a lot of reasons why I am the way I am, and it's coming up, and you don't need to see why.
Yeah, exactly. So
hard later.
But yeah, I mean, I was watching this movie with my son, and my daughter and everything, and she got a little scared at a couple of the gunfight scenes and everything, but my son was eating it up. Like the two of us were just having the best time watching that movie, and he just loved everything. And I just am watching it, and I'm like, we talk about Back to the Future being probably the most perfect movie ever made. And I look at Raiders of the Lost Ark and I kind of feel the same way about that movie. Like it's the most perfect movie, in that respect, like of those action movies ever made. It's just flawless from start to finish. Yeah, the special effects, maybe they didn't age quite as well, but they're still not terrible. Like I still don't look at it.
So good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually find early CGI worse to look at than anything that they've did prior to that wasn't
totally,
CGI.
Totally.
the other thing that we just finished watching was we had watched Back to the Future, and so we watched 2 and 3 over the last couple weekends with the kids too. And I got to tell you,
Yeah,
they do not hold up. The special effects in them,
the train effects are terrible.
They're really tapped, and the train effects were horrific. And I was like, God, dang, that really stinks. And so you got to go back to. It's okay. You don't need to have CGI everywhere and all the time, especially in an Indiana Jones movie. But I guess when your main star is 80 years old, then you guess you need to. So
I don't think that. I mean, it's not the absolute reason that's CGI'd out the butt. There's just it's too many financial nerds in there saying this is cheaper to do it this way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited. That theme slaps as well. And
it's John Williams at his finest.
I mean, it's all I could hear. Like I'm at a Super Bowl party. I can't hear because it's just everybody's talking.
Right.
I can't hear normally. So all that audible noise, I can't hear anything, but I'm hearing like it's almost like it drowned everything out, and I'm just listening to the John Williams Indiana Jones theme. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Those were the big game spots. There was some stuff that was released before the weekend, or at least before Super Bowl Sunday. The biggest one, I would say, maybe debatable, depending on what scale you use, was on Saturday. We got a Fast and Furious 10 or Fast and Furious X, probably. Official trailer.
Cage.
Oh, man. Yeah, this trailer has a lot of family in it.
Gosh.
So much family in this one. I'll start with you, Eric. Family?
Don't start with me. I just can't. I really don't. As a matter of fact, that's one of my guests at the party was like, "Oh man, I can't wait for this movie," and I was like, "Dude, not one of these movies has ever made me feel anything." Like the first, I said, I love cars. Like I love cars. I love car chase scenes. I love. You would think that this would be like perfect
Totally
up my alley, and I don't know if it's Vin Diesel or whatever.
I think it's Vin Diesel.
Just
honestly.
I can't get into it. Like we rode that ride. We went to Universal for Thanksgiving, and I rode that Fast and Furious ride, and it was just as bad as every movie I've ever seen a trailer for and had to sit through. Like my teenager, I guess she's not a teenager anymore. She's 20 now, but she made me go to Fast and Furious 8 or 9. I don't know which one of the. It was like it reminded me of like the.
Oh, was Paul Walker in it?
Paul Walker was not in it.
Okay.
They were on the ice, and it was like.
Oh yeah, I think that's 8.
Yeah,
the submarine.
Yeah,
with the submarine.
Yeah.
Oh, they brought a submarine.
Yeah. And the Rock grabs the missile.
Yeah, that's the one.
Guides it.
Yeah. And I was like, God, this is awful. Even with Dwayne Johnson in it, I was like, this is just terrible. Just terrible.
Dude, even Hobbs and Shaw is like not good.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, but it's nice.
Come on, man.
Because that was the barometer for me was no Vin Diesel. Would it be better, or would it still be, like that cheesiness of it? And it was removing Vin Diesel did nothing for my hype for any various spinoff. So, I did like the first one. The first one I was into, and I know you as well. Morg, where you stayed in it much longer than most of us.
I think I stayed in it till 7, maybe 6 or 7.
Or at least you knew the ice was in the 8th one.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I saw most of 8. I don't think I actually sat down and watched the whole thing. I didn't see Hobbs and Shaw.
You were done when he was guiding the missile.
Yeah, I didn't see the last one or Hobbs and Shaw. So I'm not sure how Han's back. Because last I knew he died in the 3rd one. So I'm not sure how he's back in this
I
one.
don't think they explained it. I think they were just like, "Oh, he's back now."
And now we got Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Being Jason Momoa,
Being Jason Momoa. He's the villain in this one. I'm interested to see what the deal with that giant ball is. Like, is it remote controlled or something?
that was a little.
Is it Juggernaut in a ball form? Like, what is this thing? But I mean, they went from back alley street racing, quarter mile at a time, to space. Ludacris used to take bets to make money, and now hacks into the Pentagon and shit. Works for the government. I know. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
The way they transformed it into what they are now.
They were just criminals.
No explanation whatsoever.
They were selling stolen VHS players. That's what they did.
I know.
It reminds me of that movie, Date Night with
yeah.
Or no, is it Date Night with
or Game Night?
No,
Game
it's
Night.
Date Night with
Steve Carell,
and Tina Fey. And the line from they do the thing for the they steal the triple horns. They steal their reservation, and it turns out it's supposed to be James Franco and
Right.
and what's her name isn't she with anyhow, the girl from 70s show, really hot brunette chick. Mila Kunis.
Oh, Mila Kunis.
Yeah. And so they steal their reservation, and so now everybody's after them. But they do a scene where it's like Mila Kunis and James Franco are arguing with each other, and he says the best line, and I absolutely love it. He says he's arguing with her about it. She's like, "I was perfectly fine turning tricks down at the stripping and doing tricks down there." And he goes, "Excuse me for dreaming. Maybe I don't want to be having to go around stealing wheelchairs from people for the rest of my life. Excuse me for wanting to have more in my life." It's like, oh my God, I don't want to steal wheelchairs for the rest of my life. Just the
it
way
could happen, man. He could go to the moon and fight. People trying to take over the world.
I mean, it is. Now I think they just were like, "Hey, Jason Momoa's around. Should we just film him and pretend he's the bad guy?"
Yeah, right.
And he will be. I mean, you want to talk about combining like my least favorite Hollywood person with like one of my least favorite Hollywood franchises right now. It's just like, ugh. Alex, can I have movie announcements for 500? Please. First up on the movie announcements section, a lot of movie announcements this week. Well, all in one announcement because it was the Q1 earnings call. Bob Iger revealed that Toy Story 5, Zootopia 2, and Frozen 3 are all in active development, meaning pretty far into development. I don't know how to define that any better. So this was all announced as well amid 7,000 layoffs at Disney, which is incredible, especially what's going on in the tech world with all the big tech companies laying people off.
Mm-hmm.
They
laid off 7,000 people, and I don't losing your job is that's a terrible thing to have happen. It really does. But they employ 250,000 people, so it was a very small cut.
I think it was 3%. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really a small percentage of the company. But more importantly, I think it was interesting where they cut. A lot of it was in the Disney Plus stuff because they lost several million subscribers, 2 million subscribers, I think.
Yeah.
For Disney Plus,
2 million.
So
like 2.34.
Disney Plus took a big hit, which, I mean, when you hear about that's pretty rough. So we'll see how that impacts the rest of the business. I mean, they knew that they were going to lose money on it for several years before they finally recoup it back. But
first of all, though, how many employees does it take to run Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I did see from Tim Allen, he had posted on Twitter that he'd see you soon, Woody. And they had a little picture of Buzz and stuff like that. And he said that normal thing where it says you're a sad little man.
Yeah,
my pity.
yeah.
But I'm excited about that. I really am. I'm
Okay.
excited about all three of those. All three of those franchises are.
I can't wait for Zootopia.
Well,
too.
I guess Zootopia is going to be a franchise now, but Stacy will tell you that she's never heard me laugh so hard in my life than the scene. She wasn't even in the room. She was out. She was in the hallway when that scene with the and I think it was Lexi and I were watching it together with I think one of the other kids was in there, but Lex and I were watching it, and
so some suspense here.
the scene with the sloths
Is
was
the sloth?
I laughed
Penny, yeah, I watched
so
with Penny.
hard at that scene.
Same.
Oh my
Penny
gosh.
and I have never heard Penny laugh harder in her life.
Yeah.
I mean, she laughed so hard, and I was laughing because she was laughing, but
Right.
I was laughing because that was
They're
so
laughing because they're laughing so hard.
sloth character is
Oh my gosh,
so funny.
they were the best, and combined with what I think it's funny that Penny laughed that hard at it, considering that she's never had to go to the DMV. Like she doesn't even really know the real joke behind
They
that
don't
joke.
even get they don't get they just get like she's in a rush.
Right.
Oh, right.
That's it. Like,
But she also loves sloths, so she going into that, she knew sloths were slow.
Yeah.
I think she laughed. The one she laughed super hard at was the one at the end. I think when didn't he get pulled over?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one she was.
Flash or whatever.
Yeah. Flash. With
I've
the
never
Arnett.
seen her like lose her breath laughing so hard.
Yeah,
So,
the
yeah,
Zootopia is
Zootopia too.
terrific, and then of course I'm a sucker for the Frozen. So I don't know about Penny, but I'm pretty sure Amelia was dressed as either Anna or Elsa for a good 2 straight years. Like every morning.
Joey's in her Anna costume in bed right now.
Yeah, it's like
that's her
every
PJs.
Yeah. It's like that phase the little girls go through, and you're like, there was the Cinderella
Play
point.
the Frozen song. Play the Frozen song. Which one?
Yeah,
Just play them all. Oh man, yeah. I mean, Morgan, you're lucky you didn't have any girls.
It doesn't matter. I've seen it times. Kids just love that movie.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what they
There you
are.
go. That's when you know it's magic.
Everybody loves Olaf. Everybody loves Anna and Elsa. I mean, they did a great job.
I love Kristoff.
Kristoff is terrific.
Jesse,
the little short movie that they did, I don't know if you guys saw the Olaf Presents that they did on Disney Plus, where they had Olaf retelling.
I watched Olaf Presents? Is that what you're asking me?
I'm just trying to make sure.
No question.
I should have said,
girls.
have you watched it today? Have you watched it today? But where he retells all those Disney ones. My favorite is The Little Mermaid, where he says, "You'll be half a fish and you'll like it."
Yeah, he does such a good job with all that.
Yep.
I liked the Aladdin one. I'm always impartial to Aladdin.
Yeah, that one was great also.
Yeah.
How do you think they'll do Toy Story 5 though, Mark?
See, that's my biggest problem on this list. Toy Story 5. I don't want it. Toy Story 4, spoiler alert, they split up at the end, right? People, I don't know. Some people say it was the most emotional one. I just wish they didn't make it. I think Toy Story 1 through 3 is easily top 3 trilogies of all time. It really is.
Easily.
I just don't know what they're going to do to Toy Story 5, especially with Buzz saying, "I'll see you late." Woody, I'm assuming either he just doesn't know, or he's implying that they're going to meet up again. So I just don't get,
getting the band back together.
It's like then if they do, that just completely ruins the whole point of the fourth. And like the whole big emotional draw was he decides to leave, but if they just meet back up again, then it doesn't matter.
I think they'll figure out something. Maybe one of the kids is in trouble, or Bonnie's in trouble, or Andy.
It's got to be something like that.
It's probably going to be like a grandkid thing, where Andy's grandkids are. Yeah, I don't know, or
Andy's
kids, and they
didn't Andy have a kid, or he had a brother? No, he had a brother.
He was going to college.
He was going to college. Yeah,
he gave him to his brother,
and he gave him to Bonnie.
Bonnie.
He gave all the toys to Bonnie
to take care.
Yeah. Okay. I'm all caught up on my Toy
Which that
Story.
Hawaiian. You guys have seen that short with the Hawaiian vacation?
Dude, it's so
Oh,
good.
Yeah. I mean, I do
Michael
love
Keaton
Toy
is-
Stories. I mean,
Michael
Yeah.
Keaton is so good.
It's magical.
So
I did
good.
laugh at Duke Kaboom. Like, I thought
Duke
he was
Kaboom.
Dude,
Lord
kaboom.
one.
Yep.
Duke Kaboom.
I
How
mean,
do you
my
get-
son dies when he
how
hits
do
the
you-
lights.
Yeah.
It cracks him up every time. I'm like, it's funny, eh?
This is so good. And
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, are you kidding me?
He's so good. Yeah.
What a win. The next movie that was announced is called Riddick 4 Furia. Furia. You guys know how to pronounce that?
I have no idea.
I lost my place on it.
My give a shit level is
Forgot.
0.
Oh, but
Furry.
listen to this
Yeah,
synopsis.
let's hear the snaps.
Yeah.
Can't remember who.
I was going to say, how is it going to overcome that the main actor is?
Yeah, remember who the main actor is.
Yeah.
Riddick finally comes back to his homeworld, a place he barely remembers, and one he fears might be left in ruins by the Necromonger Empire. But there, he finds other Furians fighting for their existence against a new enemy, and some of these Furians are more like Riddick than he could ever have imagined. Family.
Really?
Family.
How weird.
Family.
So the people
gonna
that are
be-
on your
So Riddick's about
homeworld,
family.
This is actually Fast and Furious 11.
yeah. So let me see
I'm
if I
like,
get this
they've
straight.
Just crossed over.
The people that are on your homeworld, which are most likely the same people that you are
Yeah.
just as alike as you are. That
Mhm.
sounds really, really
He's gonna
weird.
have to win a.
Whoa.
He's gonna have to race somebody for pink slips in this.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
it's-
know it. I didn't know there was a third one.
I think it was called Pitch. Was it Pitch Black was the
Perfect.
first one, right?
Pitch Black was the first one. Chronicles of Riddick was the second one,
Second.
and
Yeah, I remember
Riddick
that.
it was
and then
just Riddick.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, just Riddick.
And Riddick actually performed a little bit better than Chronicles of Riddick.
Chronicles
Chronicles of Riddick was
that one. I don't remember now.
so the first one was a low budget kind of
yeah,
cool movie.
Well, and he
And then
wasn't
the
even like the
second one
main
was-
guy in it, was it? Wasn't it somebody else that was the main person in
No, he
No, it was Vin Diesel.
he
He was
was-
Riddick.
yeah
in
he
Pitch
was
Black? But I mean, yeah, all right,
yeah, and then
Yes,
and then
because like he ended up being the hero.
yeah.
it was like early. It was like mid.
Oh,
early to
Riddick is the one with
mid-2000s.
Carl Urban.
Oh, the 2013 one.
Yeah,
And that one fared a little bit better. So at least it was on the up and up. But
I do remember that one. I did like that one more.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought the chick was the main star in that Pitch Black, and then
there's been three
Riddick-
movies.
Riddick was
two
ended up
video
being
games.
the breakout star from the movie, you know.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be this girl's like.
Oh
big-
yeah,
it was supposed to be
that's
her
her.
as the big deal, and then everybody like loved Riddick from it. They were like, we want more of that dude.
Well, it came out before Fast and Furious, and then he got kind of big with Fast and Furious.
Mhm.
And so they were like, oh yeah. So, and then that movie started rising.
And Corona was like, we got to get this guy everywhere.
Rip is in that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was weird
Yeah.
to see Rip and things.
I know.
The Dazed and Confused is the
It's
worst.
just red hair.
So if you give, like 0 shits about this movie, how little does it go? How low does it go for I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel coming
Very
with
low.
Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr.?
I don't care about this.
Okay,
Like
I know I'm
-7
not a
shits?
horror movie person, but I actually liked
Oh no! Oh no!
I actually liked the
I know what
first. I Know What You Did, and I even think I liked the second one. I think.
You did. What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
What are you
Plus,
waiting
I mean,
for?
I'm not going to tell you that
I'm right here.
looking at Jennifer Love Hewitt was not.
It's never
Yeah, I
not
mean,
been bad.
Yeah, it's
never.
Never a problem.
It's never been a.
I
issue
never
for
have
me
had a
where
problem
I'm
with
like,
that.
Same with Freddie.
Yeah. I mean, I loved her on like Party. She was on Party 5, I think.
Party 5, yeah.
And she was
Yeah.
so great in that. And then, yeah. And I'll admit, I got a soft spot for Freddie Prinze. I like the dude. You know.
Okay.
It's one of the most popular Jedis.
What about this? A a reboot of the 1984 classic starring Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah, Splash. But let's twist it around and make it a male merman.
Mermaid. Yeah.
Merman is
Merman and
the
Barnacle
proper nomenclature.
Yeah.
Merman starring Channing Tatum.
What?
I'm not joking.
What?
In
You're
development
messing with
now.
me. That is not real.
It has been announced that there will be a gender swapped reboot of the Disney 80s classic movie. I can't even get this stuff out without like just being like,
I don't.
what? I don't
This is
know.
no.
It's
Like my
what a great movie the first Splash was.
my
Classic Ron Howard movie.
yeah.
Beautiful.
I don't know, man. Like I do dig Channing Tatum. I do like the
Yes.
guy, and
Yes.
so that's the only
Yes.
thing that gives me pause on this to be like, because normally I'd be like, I'm gonna hit the eject button like right away, but I'm like,
Yeah.
Channing's in it,
Right
you know,
away.
it could be okay, you know.
Sure. This one
It wasn't Tom Hanks' best. I mean, it's a classic, but it wasn't Tom Hanks' best movie that he's ever made.
No.
So I don't. And Ron Howard, you know, is a great director, and Daryl Hannah was good in it. But I don't think I've rewatched Splash ever, so I don't feel like any loyalty to this particular property. But
okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
so,
Yeah. Have you seen like when Disney Plus was coming out and this movie was on Disney Plus, they didn't want to have Daryl Hannah's butt in the movie?
Oh, which is a shame because
Have you
remember right? It was.
have you heard what they did?
Do. No.
No,
Like-
did they replace it with a
Like a
walkie-talkie?
digital towel or something.
Like when the one where she's running away, they just made her hair longer.
Oh.
And it looks like she just has she has fur around her butt.
That's awesome.
It's really funny. I'll have to send that to you guys.
I cannot tell you a story about that, but Stacy has a great story about. I'll have to tell you that later, Darren.
Yeah, I would love to hear that.
Off camera.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hop aboard the super trailer train. I guess that's more like a bullet train. Bullet trailer train. Super Mario got a little TV spot. But we don't know much from the TV spot. Morgan, what did you think of it?
No, just a couple plumpers from Queens, you know. That's all we know. No, I enjoyed it. I thought it was just a funny little commercial. Yeah, that's all it was.
It felt like it was from the 90s.
Yeah, a funny commercial. It had the little wrap for their plumbing business, and
Yeah,
and their images, you know, looked like them from the cartoon, they're from the game and the cartoons and stuff. So
yeah,
it was just a cute little.
and the noises were spot on. It gives me what it does is it's like it keeps giving me hope that they
they appreciate it. It seems like
yeah. Like the more I saw the Lego movie leading up to it, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna knock this out of the park.
Yeah,
you like it? Or?
I did. Jackson keeps asking me, Dad, how much longer till Mario movie? How much longer till Mario
Carson
movie?
does the same thing. He's like, when's it come out? When's it come out?
and I was talking to my buddies about it the other night. Yesterday, I had some folks over for the football game and stuff, and we were talking. We saw the trailer for it, and I was like, you know, it's so cool that a game that I played when I was a kid, I can play with my kid. You know, like the original Super Mario Brothers. Like we've got an old Nintendo, you know, and it still plays. We got the Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt game, and you know, we'll play it together every once in a while, and then they've got them on the Switch now too, or it emulates on the Switch, I guess, or whatever. But so we played like Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3, and you know, just all that stuff. And he just for his birthday or for Christmas this year, he wanted Super Mario Brothers Odyssey, and he's got the 3D world with the Bowser and all that stuff. He's already played all the way through that, and the kid went through Super Mario Brothers Odyssey in like 3 days, just won the whole thing. And I was like, you won the game in like 3 days? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. You know, it was crazy.
You go play outside.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Right. Let's see if we remember how to throw a ball real quick.
But it was crazy. I mean, it's it's just neat that I get to share that, with him. And so I'm
Yeah.
excited to take him to see. There's actually 2 movies on this list that I'm excited to take him to see. So, so this one, and then the Transformers movie. He's really-
well, let me segue to 65. Is that too scary for him?
This is gonna be
Because
too
I thought-
scary for him, I think, for the big screen. And I'll probably have to preview that before he gets a chance to see that one. So, because with the Jurassic World stuff, he's seen all the Jurassic Parks and the Jurassic Worlds and stuff, and I mean, there's some scary stuff in there, but he eats it up. Like, he loves all that stuff. Blue's his favorite, character.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
thing's scary as hell if you think about it, but he loves it. But yeah, I'm just not sure on the 65. As far as him seeing it, I am
Right.
sure that
You
the
are
more I
going-
see this, the
Sure.
more I
Yeah.
like this
Yes.
movie. And
Yes.
and I have to say that my prediction, I think, is they're making it more and more clear that my prediction was correct on that humans arrived on Earth from someplace else 65 million years ago. And it's
silly time travel.
It's not time travel.
No, it's not time travel.
Not time travel. So
the audience is going in the past 65 million years.
right.
To when this
Yes.
takes place.
Right.
Oh man, I love that. I love that. I love that.
It's to go. It drives me crazy just along with your Robert Pattinson gag that you pull on me every time.
Well,
Pattinson. I'm like, please just say it. I know it makes.
I'm sure Meg is asking you the same thing when it comes to Gal Gadot.
The Gal Gadot, Gal Gadot.
65 trailer or TV spot though. I mean,
it's going to be a
sentiment. Like the more I see from that, holy cow, I want to see this movie.
I'll take my kid.
And I
more training for Carson.
Yeah, he's got a couple of years. He's got a couple of years on Jack.
I've had the dinosaur talk with him.
Yeah,
so he knows. Just in case. I mean, we're always trying to do crap we shouldn't. So just in case, I'm like, I know the movies are cool, but you cannot train a dinosaur. Just remember that.
I love the. They show up on my Twitter feed every once in a while and stuff, but there's clips where people dress up in those realistic looking raptor costumes, and like they'll have somebody like run around a corner and like look back and go like, oh my God, they're like running and they'll run past people and then the raptor will come running around the corner and freak everybody.
out. Yeah. That was a good one.
It makes me laugh every time. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that would totally freak you out for about a half a second.
I always wonder what would I do in that instance?
Yeah, I always wonder would I be like, would my brain know like, no, this isn't real?
Right.
Yeah. I'd just be like, oh my God, it's a dinosaur.
This is my chance. Punch one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for 65. But Transformers 7, Rise of the Bumblebee. What was it? Rise of the Beasts. That's another one that you're excited for, Eric.
I am, because my son loves them, and I got a soft spot for the Transformers movies. They're my Fast and Furious, I guess. Like no matter how bad they get, I still want to go watch them and all that. Yep. So, and the trailer for this it looks good. I thought the Mirage character I think looks pretty cool.
On Mirage?
Yeah, looks pretty neat. And to have the gorilla one looks really, really cool. So there's some neat stuff in there, and I just like that. I like Transformers movies. They're I know what I'm getting. And they don't disappoint me. So
say it with confidence. Come on.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
They don't ever
I
disappoint.
love the heavy focus on Mirage, being a Porsche fan that I am. I like that. Mark, is this something that you're into anymore? Are you out?
I checked out a Transformers a long time ago.
Now, I know you haven't seen Luther, but you watched the trailer for this. Does this make you want to watch
It does.
the movie?
This looks
And the
very
TV show?
good. Yeah, I mean this movie looks very interesting. It looks good. It's a strong case as to why Idris Elba should be a James Bond. I want to
He's
see
too
this,
old.
so I want to watch the show.
Yeah.
Because of this trailer.
He's too old for Bond, but I am with you on that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he definitely could have been.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I would love to have seen him as James Bond. But I think at this point he's just a little bit too old for the role. I did watch the show. I did watch the Luther show. Really, really, really enjoyed it. This trailer takes me back to him and to that particular character, and it looks really good. I love
when you say that particular character, you mean Luther, or
the Luther character.
Okay,
yeah.
Because I was going to ask, is Andy Serkis a new character for the movie?
Andy Serkis is a new character. Yep. So he's the new villain.
He's going to be good.
The first season of that show, and even the second season, is really, really great. But the first season of that show is terrific. And there's another character in it played by Ruth Wilson, and she is so phenomenally good in that show. You if you watch it, it's so great. I don't want to say too much, but she is just an amazing actress, and she's just terrific. So she plays a good partner to Idris Elba's Luther character, because he's a bit of a dark.
Oh, I remember you. I think I had to look her up one time. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I remember her.
He's a bit of a dark anti-hero, I guess is how it is. Like he's in
jail, so it's probably not
strong case for
by mistake,
right?
But yeah, definitely. I was like, oh my gosh, now I really have to watch the show. I'm gonna want to watch this too, and I'll watch anything with Andy Serkis.
Ruth Wilson. I looked her up again because I couldn't remember.
Andy Serkis is terrific.
Yeah.
He really.
I will watch anything with Andy Serkis.
Like, he's awesome.
Oh, what's that, Mark? You'll watch anything with Andy Serkis?
Almost anything.
You're very, very much looking forward to that. So let's get to the nerd box. We got a couple questions. First one is from our dear Meg, lady of the show. She actually submitted this one near the end of last year. And so we're just now getting to it, as we've had a lot of banked box questions. So thank you for sending those in. She says, have you ever met anyone famous? I'm asking, I love her context here. Have you ever met anyone famous? I'm asking mostly because a Facebook memory popped up from about 12 years ago when I went to a bar, which feels super weird now. And Ron Jeremy was there, also super weird. She said she didn't meet him, but did get a picture with him in the background. And Eric will have to put this on the screen here.
Yeah.
It's funny, and I feel like he's kind of noticing that Meg is taking a picture.
Yeah, I think he knows he's getting his picture taken.
Yeah. So
fortunately, it's just Ron Jeremy in the picture, and not all of Ron Jeremy in the picture.
Right, it's a very.
It's not what makes him famous.
Safe for work picture.
Does have a really big mustache.
Also, didn't Ron Jeremy recently? I think he was in the news. Like, he's in the hospital right now. He's not doing very good.
I think he's in trouble for legal reasons as well. So.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. He's not in a good place.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, have you ever met anyone famous, Morgan? Have you ever met anyone famous?
So, the only famous person I met was actually at my wedding. He was at my wedding. He came with. You were there.
Am I the famous person?
So it's actually you. No. So he was at the wedding, and he came with somebody on Deanna's side.
Okay.
But his name is Gene Snitsky.
Oh.
He was a WWF at the time wrestler, not WWE. He was WWF at the time wrestler. He was well known. If you look him up, Gene Snitsky kicks a baby. So that's what he was known for. It's hilarious. It's clearly a fake baby, but he kicks a baby because the girl was saying it was his, and he's like, no, it's not, and he kicks it in the stand. And
okay,
it's hilarious. But the dude was a giant. I
remember a giant.
I shook his hand, and it engulfed my hand. Like, his hand just engulfed me. It was ridiculous, monster. Like, I had to look up. I'm 6'2", and I was like, hi, nice to meet you.
I always forget you're 6'2". I don't remember Giant being at your wedding. That's funny. I was having a good time at your wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so was that his wrestler name as well?
I do believe he just went Gene Snitsky, I believe. Yeah.
I'd be like, I ain't gonna wrestle against Gene. Like, that's a weird. I guess he was embracing his name there.
Snitsky.
Eric, have you ever met anyone famous?
Yes, I have two that I'll go over. Captain Dunsel will love, and I think Bryant will love my second one. But the first person that I know is famous is my aunt and uncle live in Burbank, California. They actually live in Glendale, but their next door neighbor for a long time was this guy, Scott Kirkland, who was one of the main guys from the Crystal Method. So Ken Jordan and Scott Kirkland formed the Crystal Method in the 90s. And, they came up with all kinds of, like, pretty much every movie that you ever watched in the 90s had probably a Crystal Method song,
Right.
in it. So, and he is a dynamite guy. Him and Ken both are just two of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life. They're super nice and immensely talented guys. Scott still tours a little bit. Ken retired a few years back with his wife and stuff, and I think they moved to like Costa Rica or something. But both of them are just the nicest people. Really, 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 really great. My second famous run-in is with a Star Trek hero of mine, and it is a classic case of Eric's mouth moves faster than his brain sometimes. And I was living in Seattle at the time, and I went to the science fiction. They have this I think it's the Pop Culture Museum now, but they used to have this thing called the EMP, which was the Experience Music Project, and then the other side was the Science Fiction Museum. And so the Science Fiction Museum, and it was like 4 or 5 blocks from my apartment. So I saw they were having a Star Trek convention, and and I'd never been to a Star Trek convention before, and they had a bunch of people that were speaking at it and stuff. And so I had to work in the morning, and I got back to my apartment, and I walked over, and as I'm walking into the museum, the door opens, and like a couple people come out, and like a group, and it's Jonathan Frakes from the Star Trek: The Next Generation. He played the first officer, William Riker, on the show, and actually directed a lot of the movies that they did after the series ended. He actually directed a lot of the shows and stuff too. He's a really terrific director. He's done a lot of work, but he comes out and he signs an autograph for somebody, and then they turn around, they go back inside, and so it's just him and like his publicist as I'm walking up. And as I'm walking up, I look at him, and I was like, "Hey, you're Jonathan Frakes." And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Nice Canadian tuxedo," because he's wearing the jeans and a denim shirt and a denim hat.
Dan.
And it just came out of my mouth like I didn't even think about it. And he looks at me and he just laughed. He's like, "Thanks, man." And that was it. I didn't say anything more. And I was so humiliated. I was like so embarrassed that I said it to him. But it's totally classic me, like that. I would just, it would just come right out of my mouth. So
that's funny.
So you meet like one of your Star Trek heroes, and you immediately insult him. Nice work, dude. So
you got to. I mean, that's what I for wearing that.
If I saw John Krasinski, it'd definitely just be like, "Oh, I love your beard."
That's beard. What do you do to keep it like that?
Yeah, please never shave your beard.
Use beard oil.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, mine's kind of same as Morg's is. It's not something I didn't want to pick something where I was like riding in an elevator. I'm like, "Oh, hey, it's somebody famous." I wanted to like, okay, I'm meeting this person. Like I'm spent time with this person. And Banana used to work at a comedy club here in Colorado, and he was director of events and sales. She got to meet a lot of the comedians, and so me being a kind of a stand-up comedian nerd, loved to go to shows whenever I could. And one of my favorite stand-up comedians, not so much anymore, as I think he's kind of faded off. He's got a family now, semi-retired, but Nick Thune is a very, very funny stand-up comedian. Incorporates music into his gig a lot. So we went and saw him, and we actually after the show we got to hang out with him, and for like 3-4 hours we partied with him. And he's one of those guys. He's like he's funny because he's funny. He's not funny because he can write good jokes. And so that was one of the like best. Like I was like meeting like my favorite comedian at the time. It was a really good time. So also Banana like wants to leave me for him because she thinks he's like the hottest guy in the world. So Nick Sue, everybody. No, the next question. That's great question, Meg. Glad we finally got to that one. I still don't feel like you've given us an answer because you didn't really meet Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So give us your answer in the comments, Meg.
And just to fill you in, he's on trial for rape, 30-some
is that
charges.
Okay,
yeah.
So yeah.
But he actually just was committed to a mental institution as he's been found not competent to stand trial. So, yeah, good times, Meg. Maybe it's good that you didn't meet him.
Yeah. I knew it was something.
Yeah.
It was something about him. Something gave him away. I don't know, the mustache or something. Last
in the comments,
question.
before you get to that, in the comments, if you have a run-in with somebody famous or have a good story of a famous person that you met or are connected to in some way, and it's a good story, drop it in the comments because I'd love to hear. I love hearing people's stories of like run-ins with famous people.
That's like your story. Freaking perfect,
right? Yeah.
Our next NRDbox question comes in from frequent submitter. Now I would call him frequent submitter, Mike Hodgkinson. But before we get to his question, we want to give him a big salute from the Nerd Rundown, as he just got commissioned to write a book about a zombie apocalypse.
Woohoo.
So he's going to spend the next year writing the book, and so I think that's super exciting, and we'd love to talk about it when it's all said and done. I'm sure that's a couple of years off, but
need any zombie apocalypse survival, me and Eric are here. We will probably give you help.
Yeah.
Watch the zombie episode they did. You learn a lot about zombies.
You can have me die in the first chapter if you want to. Just loosely base a character on me that gets.
Eric would love to be the audio.
The one where we could open it up with us, the Nerd Rundown, talking about zombies happening, and we get overrun.
Yeah, get overrun. 2 podcasts, guys.
Yeah. So congrats to him. That's awesome. Very proud of him. But his question, he wrote in, he's like, in the essence of Valentine's Day, I want to know what's the greatest love story in TV/film history? Morgan, I know you were struggling. I don't know if you came up with your answer. Did you find your answer?
So I have 2.
Okay. Let's hear 'em.
I'll give you my runner-up.
Okay.
They're both TV, so I'll say that. My runner-up, JD and Turk. I don't care what anyone says. That is a love story for the ages. Okay.
That's so funny.
Love JD and Turk.
Okay.
Their guy love is amazing.
I love it.
But my number 1 pick, David and Patrick from Schitt's Creek.
Okay. I have not watched it, so I don't know.
It's an excellent show. Their story is excellent in it. The way they do it, and how they progress, and it's a very good love story. It's they do a very good job with it. So I highly recommend it. Bill. I thought about Bill and Frank from Last of Us because that is a pretty good love story.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just one episode, not a whole series. You know what I mean?
I got you. Okay. Eric.
It's funny that he mentioned the JD one because I was thinking Riggs and Murtaugh. It's like two
Totally.
guys that just love each other to death, you know.
I
Like,
recently
just think
rewatched the Lethal Weapon 2, and I was just like, gosh, this movie is so magical.
it's
Like,
it's
it's so
terrific,
good.
man. It's absolutely terrific. So,
Better.
but I think on the whole, I think I would.
Operation H does feel good.
It does feel good on the whole. I'm struggling because there's two movies with Meg Ryan that I think are
Okay.
like my favorite love
Okay.
stories. You know, the Sleepless in Seattle is just a terrific love story, and I just love Meg Ryan so much.
Yeah.
And the other one goes in a different direction, which is the When a Man Loves a Woman with her and Andy Garcia. Is another really, really terrific one because and the reason why I lean more towards the When a Man Loves a Woman is because you get like the fluffy romance, like the falling in love part. In the other movies, almost all those other movies are all like fluffy. The first 3 months falling in love, but When a Man Loves a Woman is when you're married to someone that you love and things are bad, you know, like that is like, to me, that's like real love, you know, like I think that's it. So I probably lean more towards When a Man Loves a Woman. It behind Riggs and Murtaugh, of course, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude. And if you didn't sing When a Man Loves a Woman in your head when
I was
talking about that,
I was talking about it.
Who are you even as a person?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pretty much any Meg Ryan rom-com or
yeah.
whatever during that 90s, late 80s.
When Harry Met Sally,
Yeah.
French Kiss.
Yeah.
You've Got
Great
Mail.
stuff. She was
she
the
was
it
great.
girl for a long time.
Yeah, she was the rom-com. She was like the first, like Reese Witherspoon became the new Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good selections there. It's funny whenever I hear this question, I hear this a lot, that Braveheart is like the greatest love story of all time. And the last time I think it is a great love story to herald it as one of the greatest. But I hear that a lot, which is funny. So it just makes me think of that. But that's not my answer. I have two. My runner-up is they're both in TV. So my runner-up is Jim and Pam on The Office.
Mm-hmm.
What a great love story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gosh, I remember leading up to their wedding. I was just like a little schoolgirl. I was so excited for their wedding, you know, and then it ended up being like the greatest episode of TV ever. But the only love story that could beat that love story is a love story that transcends time. Anybody ever guess? Well, Morgan wouldn't know.
So is this going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No.
Okay.
No. You should watch that. Desmond and Penny from Lost.
Oh yeah. Good one.
I don't know.
Good choice. Good choice. Desmond
that one
and Penny.
is pretty darn good.
Constant.
Better than Sun and Jin?
Shut up, Morgan. You don't even know.
I'm just throwing it out there. You saying it's better than Sun and Jin?
Absolutely, it's better than Sun and Jin.
Yeah. Sun and Jin's romance is complicated. It's if in a whole show of complications,
it's uncomfortable
it's rough. In some parts it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Sawyer and Julia had a better love story than Sun and Jin. Oh man, I don't want to. That's some sad stuff talking about that. Lost. That's another show, Morgan. I gotta get on.
I hate to plug it.
I don't know what's going on. I'm lost.
The Smartlist podcast, when they interviewed John Krasinski recently, he talked about his casting of Jim and Jenna Fisher's casting as Pam, and how they both secretly hoped that the other one would be cast in that. It's really good. It's a really terrific It's a really terrific interview that they talk about. It's really good, and I think if that's not romantic, I don't know what is. For them to both kind of want it to be the other person, and they both end up being cast in the position. So that was great. But yeah, Desmond and Penny, man, that's so good. I'm gonna have to go back and watch Lost again. Gosh,
I know it's so good, dude.
I got other stuff I gotta watch, but
I've heard it's okay.
I hate you sometimes.
Yeah, seriously. I just want to boot you out of here sometimes.
But you know what is good? What we're going to talk about in the presents.
So to wrap everything,
The segue.
Listen, fun rundown tonight. A lot of great stuff came out of that Super Bowl. I'm Flash. Holy cow! What a surprise that was.
Yeah.
And Guardians is just. I'm gonna probably be watching that trailer a few more times.
Yep.
Each week leading up to that movie.
Yep.
So really great stuff.
Ant-Man this week. Go see it. Get your tickets.
Yeah, Ant-Man this week, and we were talking about Super Mario Brothers. I think it's April 3rd.
Yeah.
That so.
Yep. 65 is coming up next month.
Your sons start
March.
counting down. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be here.
So it's getting to be about a month and a half away from that. And we got a big March coming up though, so save your box office money for where you can. Start prioritizing. It's a busy month.
Yeah.
We're gonna go jump on the nerd rundown recaps, and talk about a little show called The Last of Us.
Episode 5
had episode 5 called Survive and Endure.
Survive and Endure.
And I cannot wait to talk about that show with y'all.
Yep.
So I'll wrap this up with that.
What the one clicker said to the other clicker.
Oh,
We're a couple of fun guys. Get it? Fun guy.
Yeah. I've been telling that joke since I was like 7. But
I know.
I used to kill with that joke too. And with that being said, we'll see you all next week on the Nerd Rundown.
See ya. Bye.
Deuces.